Hey, I'm Yoad. Welcome to my studio. Today, we're going to make a song which is mixed in the box, sounding analog. Let's think about the things we want to avoid. If you're going to put 20 plugins on every track, you're not going to get analog sound. If you're going to process the hell out of each track, you're not going to get analog sound. The only way to get this analog feel, sound, depth, width is to do less, actually, because when we mix on analog desks, we don't have much processing power. We have a 4-band EQ, we have a compressor, a gate, and then we can send selected tracks for extra processing using the output gear, which will include some compressors, some EQs, de-essers, and effects. So if we stick to that paradigm, we have a better chance of getting this natural analog warm sound while mixing in the box. So I'm going to start with all the faders set to -9 dB, which gives me some headroom. And that's what it sounds like. And we can start with very kind of basic balance. The ride is really loud. The overheads are pretty loud. Bass could go down a bit. The rhythm guitar and the guitars in general are quite loud. The kick is a bit quiet. So when I start with balancing the track before adding any processing, I'm in a really good position because then I can get the song into a playable state without using any processors. And that's key for getting a good mix or natural organic sounding mix. I'm just trying to assess what I'm dealing with here, moving faders and trying to balance the song without using any processing yet. We can start with balancing the drums. Then we can add the bass. And the main guitar. Trying to make sense of the tracks we have. Let's unmute all the guitars. So we already have something that makes sense. Let's listen to the vocal. And from here, we can start looking at processing. I'm going to start with inserting a tape plugin across all the tracks. And I'm going to go for the Studer A800. And these are the settings that I like. And I'm actually trimming the low frequencies down a little bit because I find it a bit bottom heavy. So let's hear what the tape does. So I'm hearing that it's rounding off the transients on the drums, making the bass a bit more round. making the guitars warmer. So that's already a good start. And now, just to prove that we don't need that much processing, I'm going to use a channel strip with just a 3-band EQ and a very crude compressor. So this channel adds coloration as well. Let's hear it with and without. So together with the tape, we already have something which is fuller and warmer. And now we can look at the individual tracks. I'm not going to gate the kick, just going to let it be. And I can cut some of the boxy frequencies. The snare is already trimmed, so we don't need a gate. We can add some compression. And we can find a nice mid-range to boost. Maybe we can add some compression on the kick as well. And we may want to bring them down in level. Some of these guitars are a bit loud. And let's look at the bass. Definitely needs some compression, and I'm going to go for a relatively slow release time, so it's gonna kind of tame the sustains. So that sounds more compact. The lows sound good, so I'm not going to touch it. I'm just going to add a bit of mid. And let's look at the overs. Definitely some compression. Now here I'm filtering the lows going to the sidechain of the compressor. So it's going to be less affected by the kick drum. Like that. So there's a bit more air, which I like. The ride is very loud. So I can look for a frequency to cut, so it's more open. Maybe adding a little bit of top. The other approach will be to leave the mids alone and to add some top here, which will make it sound more hi-fi. And that depends on how much spill we allow from the other elements of the kick. Let's try this approach and then compare it with the other approach. So here I'm boosting some treble and cutting a little bit of mid. So that sounds more rocky. And that approach sounds more pop, if you like. There's a bit of level difference. And that has a huge effect over the whole vibe of the song. I'm going to go with this for now. Maybe we don't need that much. We can also try shorter release time. The snare now sounds a little bit bright. I want to go more towards the mid. And and maybe give it some body. And now the kick can have some punch, and I can add more compression. Again, with high pass on the sidechain, because otherwise it will be very compressed and clicky. Let's listen to that. Maybe I want that as opposed to here. Sounds more natural. And now I can compress the bass a little bit more. I can look at high passing the sidechain. Nice. And let's look at the main guitar. Mid. Bit of compression. And I can just copy the settings to the next one. This one needs a bit of help because it sounds a bit trebly. I can muffle it a little bit and give it more mid and more lows. So it sounds more like the other one. This one maybe has too much lows. Now let's try to treat the drums as a group. So I'm going to subgroup it and insert the same processor again over the entire group and just use the compression. And that makes the drums pop out. And they're very punchy. Nice, I can add some lows. I like that. I can try some saturation. Right is really loud. What I'm missing is some grit on the bass. So I'm going to try to push the input and bring the output down. Too much lows. And let's bring up the mid frequency. Let's try to have the EQ before the compressor. More personality on the bass. I'm going to copy that to the other bass track. Let's look at this amazing solo. We need a bit of delay, and I have some delay here. Just quarter notes. Too much. Now all these event guitars can have some spring reverb punch on the kick. So now I can either add more highs or more compression, and maybe I want to release the high pass filter, so we're getting more compression. I think we'll go with that. And maybe we can bring some of the mid back. The bass needs a high pass filter. So here I'm going to go for an old school processor, which is the filter, and just cut some lows. That's a passive filter originally, which you don't even have to plug in to the mains. The vocals will need more processing. I can try to get away with just using the 3-band EQ and this compressor, but one thing I know I'm going to need is a de-esser. So I'm going to insert that before everything else. Okay, let's add some slap delay. Again, we need loads of compression. We need some in the low mid, some body. Now here, I would maybe go to an external outboard processor. Let's go for an old school EQ, like the API graphic EQ maybe. And I want to try and cut some of the high mid. Maybe a 4. And add some top. And I probably need another de-esser at the end of this processing chain. Make it be higher, so it will take only the T's and S's. Now let's copy the same process to the other lead vocal, the answers. And here we need more body. We have the breaths here, which are already separated, so that's good. Okay, and let's look at the backing vocals. De-esser for sure. Loads of compression. Makes it tight. Some top. And we can cut some of the lows. And here we need a little bit of reverb. A bit too loud. Let's copy the lead vocal setup to the head libs at the end. Now we can go for some compression over the entire mix bus. Let's try something interesting like DBX. Usually I would use the 165, but this has kind of a similar sound because it makes it really punchy. I love it. There's some stray transients on the snare drum which I'm hearing. So I'm going to use a de-esser in wideband mode, which means that whenever high frequency goes over the threshold, it will compress the entire signal, not just the highs. And I can go for thick shape. So I'm going to leave the highs alone and just hone on these peaks at like 5 or 6K, just to make it rounder. The lead guitar can have more body. Now I'm mixing on headphones. If you want to call these headphones, it's earbuds. So I can't guarantee the sound of the bass. Could be a bit boomy. Probably is. And possibly the kick as well. Usually I would use a high pass on the kick just to keep it in order. So that's a good starting point. From here, I can work on individual tracks, maybe different parts of the song, do some automation rides. But already I'm hearing the song. Probably too much delay on the vocal. Let's try some extra enhancement on the entire master. So we have this TG compressor we can use as well, very gently. We can widen everything. So here, this is mono, and just open everything up a little bit. And I can try opening up very carefully by cutting the 500 range. This is less than half dB, but it makes a lot of difference. Here, I would probably send the vocal to some delay. Possibly here as well. So we have a vibe here, and I can work on it more, but this is just showing that we can get a decent sound mix very quickly without using that many plugins. And in fact, by avoiding using too many plugins, we have just a very crude 3-band EQ, some compression. There's not even attack ratio and threshold controls over this compression. The only control I have here is the mix. So it's basically parallel compression. So this is all the way in, and this is bypassed, and the sidechain filter, which is very effective. So I'm using very little and I get a lot. And I wanted to show that this is possible. It may not work on every type of song. Some songs need more processing. Some songs will need more problem fixing. So we can use individual plugins like transient shapers. De-esser is a very, very useful tool to have because I can use it either in high frequency mode or in wideband mode. In any case, I'll play with this song more for a little bit. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, you know what to do, and I will see you on the next one.